Today I'm at Huddersfield Golf Club and I'm going to be testing out the new Cobra Radspeed irons. I'm going to be seeing how they perform, how they compare to the one length offering, and how they compare to last year's Speedzone model. So let's go and get on with it. I'm actually really surprised just how much I love the look of these irons. These are much bigger than something I would typically go for, but I really do think Cobra have done a great job with the styling of these. It's definitely giving me racing car vibes, and I think the contrast of the different colours and the materials are really nice, especially the integration of this 3D printed nylon medallion in the back. I also think it's really nice that we have the two different colourways between the standard option and then the one length offering, although the red and blue in the one length irons is really making me consider swapping models completely. Over the ball, we've now got more of a matte finish compared to last year, so you don't have to worry about the sun glaring off your irons. Not that that's a massive issue in England at the moment. Yeah. Other than that, I would say the offset and the top line and shaping are very similar compared to last year when you're over the ball. In the longer irons, we have the carbon fibre top line again, and it is slightly darker than last year, which I think actually makes it stand out a bit better. I also like the fact that the top of the grip is now black instead of white. It just blends into the rest of the club better. So overall, in terms of aesthetics, I would say Cobra have done a really great job in upgrading this club from last year's Speedzone offering. I'm testing this as a 90-gram stiff shaft, and really that's pretty similar to what I would have in my standard setup. And I have to say, it does feel really nice and well balanced. I do think if you strike this well, the feel is really nice, but compared to some of Cobra's more player irons, I would say if you don't catch it quite as well and misstrike it, it doesn't feel as good. Personally for me, as the sole is a bit wider, I do feel like I get some kind of matty or heavy strikes, which does impact the feel a little bit. Now I've collected data with the 9, 7 and the 5 iron here because I really wanted to look at the gap in between the different clubs as well as just the generic distances. Now in terms of distance, I would be really happy with the numbers here, but compared to my gamers, they're not really that much different, and I did think with the stronger lofts in these, I would get a bit more out of them. Having said that, generally when I get a larger iron in my hands than I'm used to, I just don't strike them as well as I can, so others may get more out of these than I have. Now you can see from the data, I had pretty even gapping across the whole set, which I was really pleased with because typically club golfers can struggle when they get up to the 7, 6, 5 iron and hit them all the same difference, so there's a lot of tech in these clubs to help you out and make sure that doesn't happen. I was also really pleased with the consistency of the distance. A lot of times game improvement irons can get a bad rap as being jumpy or that they're just not consistent from shot to shot. I really didn't find this at all in my testing with these. Now a lot of tech has gone into improving the feel with these, including those 3D printed nylon medallions on the back of the club head. And I have to say, even though they don't react with the ground in the same way that a slimmer iron would, the feel off the face is really nice. Okay, now for the big question. Are these any better than the Speedzones? Now I could only get my hands on a 9 iron from last year, but I'm still going to see how that stacks up compared to the new model. I was carrying the Speedzone 125.7 yards compared to 129 with this year's Radspeed, so a slight jump in distance. Now this increase was actually due to me getting just over a mile an hour of extra clubhead speed in this year's model. Now my spin was also down 600 RPM with the Radspeed, but I have to say literally all the other variables, including launch angle, were almost identical. So I'm seeing slightly more distance and less spin, which is definitely going to help the majority of golfers in this category. Now finally let's compare with the one length offering. Now this is something I really want to get behind as it seems so appealing and most golfers would benefit from more consistency over distance. But really I'm yet to see this work for me. I compared the 5 irons here, and although I do have to say I preferred the feel of the 1 length 5 iron, for me the 7 iron length shaft in this just felt more comfortable, but it just wasn't delivering the same performance for me. My carry distance was down 8 yards on average with the 1 length, and it wasn't really any more consistent across the other variables to average this out. If we go to the other extreme, the gap wedge was almost the direct opposite. The distance was really good with this, but it just felt so odd having such a long shaft in this club. I just really didn't feel like I could control it well enough. I basically just found myself trying to grip down on the club for the whole time I was testing this, which I don't think is really the point. Right, those are my first impressions on the new Radspeed irons from Cobra. On a final note, I have to say I think these are such a big upgrade in terms of looks from last year's offering, and I definitely think that's important for this category. A lot of people need the extra forgiveness and distance of a game improvement model, but they don't want to give something up in looks for that. So I think from that point of view, if someone's looking for a bit more tech to help their game, but they also want a really good looking iron, Cobra have definitely delivered. Right, that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're new. And if you're after more Cobra content, head back through our reviews where we've covered the full Radspeed range.